I'm Masato Yuki here, and today we're continuing our long and arduous journey in the tunnel Strands. But today will be a little different. Our last stream was really short. Apologies. And, well, that stream may have been short, but this one won't be. I have so much time on my hands, this is gonna be 9 hours. I'm joking. Actually, whoever's watching this could probably tell me how long it ends up being. So, Judges Meyer Institute, Upper Denevron, Judges Meyer, Glintwood Hollow, Bastion. We'll end in Judges Meyer, I guess. And we'll start here with Glintwood Hollow. We're just gonna make our way around. We still need to beat our last two in Highland Ice Claw and the Arc of Winter Tide. Speaking of which, let me equip Casman. Change equipment. Instead of kinetic bow, give me my flame bow. Thank you. Glintwood Hollow. Feathers Arch. I know a lot of people might get upset that I call Arch Arc. In all the reading material I've ever done, the H has almost always been silent. And it's become a habit now. A bad habit. So where do I need to go here? As I suspected, this is where we need to go. You gotta be kidding me, there's actual things down here. Actually, I don't need this rock anymore. Why am I trying to hit it?
Census records. The pivotal piece of the puzzle, as Lane would say. Others might call them dull.
We need to head to the Collapse Mine. Either the guy's just gonna peek its head around here, and yep. Great. Just keep moving. Is that where my last few notes, sorry.
A list of vendors. Maybe Oria's father is among them. My old point, Aaron, used to boast he could sell an Oberon their malted feathers. Ugh.
Okay. Grab that, okay. Okay. Go through here. Jump, jump, jump.
I'm going to let Arik power the scry for your run with the blue. Rin.
Appreciate it, Oria.
You could use the practice.
That might be Isla's secret refuge. It's actually not too far from Lucia's workshop. Isla dedicated her life to restoring the Arks. Darn's right. We will need to continue her research. For that, she considers sacred for the right. A letter from the Axel. I should take it back to her. A toy Archon. That's sweet.
Okay.
Darn. Do you think this could work for the Rite of Ashes?
It's perfect.
Huh. Isla also had a copy of On the Workings of Archons, marked with annotations, just like Lucia's.
Could be useful.
Wait, I'm losing you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Weird. The scry was cutting out.
Strange. At any rate, the book could be useful. Once you've completed the ritual, I'll take a look.
Why is this thing so adamant on doing one thing? Stomping. Let me down! I mean, stuck on a log, that's amazing. Softer landings, it says. We can't do anything, right? Stay on the ground while I'm not on you.
Could always use more frost magic.
That's nice. Okay. We're going to complete the the flower quest first. Just so I have the means to call this.
Here goes.
Good. Now move. We'll be ready.
We can't use teleportation, so this is probably...
Good
I
progress,
do like
Bryn.
this.
Smooth and steady.
We go through here. It takes us back to Glintwood Hollow, which will allow us to just go back home.
It's looking a bit off. It's normal. Just keep moving and you'll be fine.
There.
She's got this. Did we?
Yes. Oh, we're good. Excellent work, everyone. We'll get this over to Solar, Bryn. She'll be ready for you whenever.
Stabilize. Nice. Weaver Strand, Frost Powers. There's Frost Mine done. That's the Highland Ice Claw we no longer need to beat. We're going to head to Upper Denevron. The Guild District.
I'll need to place the toy ark on the high pyre. This place never fails to impress. Just imagine it before the veil went up. Wouldn't have had to scavenge for alchemically treated coal at any rate. Sad to buy such a sweet toy. Now to collect the ashes. Though the flame abates and the ash grows cold, let she who worships
Reduce
you
achievement to
rest in
ashes.
eternal warmth.
Beautiful, Bryn.
I'm sure I
There it is again. The scry is cutting in and out. Dom? Aurea?
We're... Can you hear me now?
You're back.
While you bring the ashes to Cassidon's hold, I'll analyze the scry. Something strange is afoot.
Okay. That achievement was saddening. Okay. Let's head to the Bastion next. I still feel very bad for Isla. Because her death could have been very much avoided. If her father had not been a fool.
The Bastion. Lane said to look for regiment records.
Lane wants us to search those.
These are the regiment records Lane asked for. My father told me stories about how instrumental the Oberyn were in the wars for Carnhaven's independence. They would glide behind enemy lines and strike with precision.
No. Okay, so we just need to go back, and... Let's just go back now. Now. Actually, Drought's a good thing of going there.
See those massive pipes running along the roof? Nororian design.
We got the wrong spawn. Chanter's Way. Documents. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, it didn't matter. I had no stamina. That's the Ark of Stricken Earth. Oil membrane. You guys forget that I'm not stupid like you. I know how to cast the Reaper's magic. I forgot it in the in the right area, but I'm just head back. I can't find this right now. We can always teleport back here, so that's good. Oh, he needs to enchant it.
One never quite forgets that smell.
Temple coal taking you back?
Unfortunately, yes. It conjures up images of stern keepers, hot stuffy vestibules, and ranted invective posing as sermons on the evils of magic. It was everywhere in Renland. The church has the nation in a stranglehold, and so I left at considerable speed. I don't think I really stopped running at all until... well,
Until you met the love of your life.
yes. I thought so. I still hope so.
It's been a strain on you both.
I'm sure everyone has noticed.
Needing it?
Maybe. It's clear she yearns to just stay here in the Enclave, even if we brought down the veil. But I find comfort in the road. It has few preachers and no community dedicated to strangling out individuality.
Worried if you stop moving that it will catch up with you?
I suppose I am still running in a way.
Does she know that?
Sorry, I need to do something. Okay, there we go.
It's not something I want to burden her with.
She's strong in a lot of ways. Something to think about.
Right. Yes, I shall.
Yes, I shall use the most expensive resource possible. No, I'm gonna use the cheapest.
It's significantly easier to do a repair than working up a new suit of armor from scratch. I'm going to go soft.
We could use some really intricate chandeliers to brighten up the place.
Casman would be happy. Though, I strongly suspect this entire thing is an elaborate ruse to get Dom and I talking.
It's not like her to run out of things, it's true. Is it working, do you think?
I don't know. The intentions are good, but I'm hurting.
I think you both are.
Yes. But I'm the one who's been following his dream of wandering the Maida for years. And the moment I say, hey, maybe we could do something else, he shuts down.
You're right. That doesn't seem fair.
It isn't.
He didn't have a great reaction to what you said, it's true. But at the same time, he was rather caught off guard.
Well, perhaps it was a little abrupt.
Maybe he deserves a chance to have a second reaction.
You're as bad as Casman. Speaking of, we should see her and present the fruits of our labors.
Yes, we should. Let's start by talking to Casman.
I had a chance to run a test, and I would say our stove is cooking better than ever. Keeps the heat well, burns clean, a job well done.
Dom's always been very good at treating that kind of coal. Must be the Wren in him.
Hardly. No, I simply find my inspiration in...
I think...
Shh.
Sola, I have an idea.
Oh?
Tarmakind uses exceptionally precise temperatures to work the metal, yes? Sometimes exceptionally high?
I mean, yes, but...
I finished Xavier's journals. He was quite thorough and talked extensively about working with the Halopire priests.
Nothing quite helps me commune with the flames like someone slamming a hammer into metal.
You'd be surprised. But I imagine Dam means the shrine underground. I saw it mentioned too.
Precisely. And perhaps we could lean on our intrepid point to investigate.
Of course. I'd be happy to.
They must have kept records. Samples, perhaps.
I really appreciate this.
Okay. Oberon in the Enclave. The Gregorious Oberon culture is influential across the Meta, in contrast to the Rom, who tend to keep to themselves. The Oberon have easily integrated themselves into the daily life among Cassel, Ashar, and Ashar. Extensive census data recovered by our point indicate that the Enclave was no outlier in this regard, though this research was initiated to investigate our Watcher's lineage and successfully identified 3 candidates for her patriarch. Pardon my boasting. It seems a shame not to compile the findings for our archive as well. Oberon participated in all aspects of life in the Enclave, notably Oberon such as Jarian, Harpian, and Mateo Ergatus were memorialized in the statues as famed contributors to the Enclave's success. In addition to this, Oberons frequently held influential seats in the Enclave's government, as well as offered important contributions to their military. Despite its small size, indeed, they were in fact overrepresented in the scout corps. Their unique physiology attributes were clearly considered particularly useful for the scouts' duties. Of course, Oberon were assimilated into civilian populace and economy as well. From what we can tell, their presence is in the Enclave did not dilute their unique cultural identity nor their age-old cultural divide around the controversial practice of clipping their wings. A contemporary etching sartorial in nature depicts a rich Oberon who, wholly consumed by indolence, that his untrimmed feathers reach the ground, causing him to trip over them. Unrealistic. To be clear, that's not how feathers work.
What have you got for us, Lane?
I've narrowed it down to 3 likely candidates. A Halopire priest, a farmer, and the last military commander prior to the evacuation to Cassidon's Hold.
A military commander sounds promising. How do we narrow down which of those 3 is my father?
That's where we step away from the books and do some investigating. Bryn?
I'll check the garrison, the market, and the Halopire Rise for any traces of these Oberon.
Probably the farmer. Excuse me. Yes, Lane, I know you have more codex entries for me. I just don't want to do them right now. All that speaking makes me a bit tiresome. Trouble. Cassidon's Hold. The Enclave's leadership elected council positions from each major guild in the city-state. Let's start with the Axle. I do want to hover over their quest. Compare and contrast.
Before you ask, the answer is maybe.
About the scries? You know?
Of course I know. In this role, I can't afford to be oblivious to one of my colleagues sneaking about. And while well-meaning, Arakim is about as stealthy as a glass tail on rice paper. Which brings me to my question. The answer will tip me from maybe to yes or no. Why are you here and not him?
Chances, frankly.
Khan Arteme, you know Kenrick's temper as well as anyone. How many times did Arakim get punished for daring to step out of line? He has incredible intentions, and will do anything to help your people. But you need to build his trust and confidence.
Let me come again to the point. Why you and not Arakim?
Honestly, I don't think he knows how to ask.
It's as simple as him asking me. I am not Stanild.
No, but you have to prove that to Arik as much as he has to prove himself to you. That was the lesson I learned from Oria. The best leaders are mentors and meet their people halfway. That's what Arik needs from you.
An interesting point. I suppose he did not receive much support. Well, ever. Very well. You have my approval. I shall be watching very closely to see how this proceeds. And fair winds. I hope you can find your answers. I just wish Isla were here to help.
Let's talk with the eye. In memories.
I performed the rite, and I brought you the ashes.
Thank you, Bryn. Isla admired you. She would be honored that you did this for her.
It's not how she would have wanted things. I should have been there.
Enough! I know you're grieving. We all are. But you are no longer the Eye, and this disrespectful conduct ends now. You owe Bryn a thank you, and an apology for that matter, and probably a great deal more than that. Not only has she gone out of her way to perform the rite for your daughter, but she saved us all from certain death at the Grand Gate too. None of which she would ever have had to do if it weren't for your...
For my actions! I know! I know! It's all my fault. I should have been there. Not at the temple. At the Grand Gate. I should have stayed. The way she looked at me when I left her there. Never forget it. I could fill a city with my mistakes. I should have supported her work. I should never have lied to her. My regrets will drown me.
Yes, he's wrong. Yes, he's a bad person, but at least he understands what he does wrong.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
My mother used to say, you can drown in your grief, or learn to swim in it. It is unfair that you lost a child, no matter the circumstances. I am so sorry that happened to you. But now you have a choice. You can spend the rest of your days counting the ways you failed your daughter. Or you can dedicate every breath you have left to her.
How?
Just do one small thing a day that would make her proud to call you her father. Start by helping us finish the work you wish you had supported in her life.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. If you'll excuse me. But there is one thing. The Ark in your camp, the one she wanted to restore. It's called the Ark of Verdance. An enchantress named Lucia de Crassus built it.
Lucia.
Consider it a thank you for what you've done.
Tilt the axle to see if she's okay.
My light. I remember the day you were born, vividly. When I held you, my heart was so full it threatened to break. And I know your mother felt the same way. For all her flaws, she would be so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
In memories.
You deserved better from him. But that was probably all he's capable of. Come to think of it, we all deserved better from him.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you? You're going to try to fix the arcs.
We still don't know how the Ark brought us in here. Excuse me. Tell her when you uncover its mystery.
The Ark we followed through the Veil. We have no idea what it was doing outside the Enclave in the first place. Or even how it got us in here. If we're ever going to stand a chance of leaving, or bringing down the Veil, we need to find out more.
I wish I could help, but arcs were Isla's expertise, not mine. Still, I agree. That arc allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where Surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me heavily invested in your progress.
It's too great an advantage to ignore. I'll keep you updated.
You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yes.
Oh, that's how you do this.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick. And while I know you're not the idiot he is, speaking to that thing is risky.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know. Just don't reveal anything in the process.
I knew you'd be back. Dreadfully predictable.
And here I thought I surprised you. Or was your herald getting kicked back to the source part of the plan?
Don't steal credit. Your great icon pushed us back, not you. And I'm quite certain it didn't survive the battle. Judging by the way you charged straight to the Grand Gate upon hearing my plan, you favor misguided heroics. Let me guess. You're going to try for a rematch.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Let's not lie to each other. I like you.
Can't say the feeling's mutual.
Come now, I want to be confidants. Friends, even.
Fine. Let's be friends. Why don't you tell me what the Surgeborn are after so I can help you get it?
I told you, don't lie to me. But because my offer of friendship is genuine, I'll tell you. I'm after the same thing you're after. Magic. And the power that comes with it.
But Surgeborn already wield magic.
Not nearly enough of it. You know the lust for magical power is insatiable. Why else are you risking everything to tear strands of it from behemoths?
I'm not power hungry.
Don't lie. Especially when your actions betray your words with such ease.
Kenrick Stanold is in rough shape after being your confidant.
I would never treat you like I treated him. You're different. Special. Trust me. In time, you'll consider us kindred spirits.
Doubt it.
See you soon.
The So we have two more things. Consult Erikim. Consult Dom. Buffalo Station. Let's... Oh! Lifting the shroud. Before we do that, let's do our next codex compiling. I know, these are long and quite boring. Sometimes they're nice. Let's do the more boring one. Let's do the FF subject. Okay. Our band's time in the Enclave has been full of arcane discoveries, a few of them friendly and many eye-opening, but it falls to a lore keeper to observe more than the fantastic. Your humble servant will provide a more mundane conjecture than formed from across to the remains of the Enclave's trade logs. Without the Enclave's formation, the Meta's cultures may never have blended as they are today. It's clear from various explorations into the Enclave's records and trade treaties that they leveraged their unique market positioning into favorable trades deals with every nation of the Meta. There's considerable evidence that they, applied visiting dignitaries with not only the best of the Enclave's considerable services, but also sent them home with trinkets designed to win favor and potentially even allow for surveillance. With these advantages, trade moved through the Enclave's highways and ports like blood pumping through a heart. Caravans and merchants vessels alike soon found the Enclave to be a central hub for both enchanted goods and mundane produce of the other nations. This led to a pro-life ration in international trade that had not been seen before. The Udine spices enhancing the cuisine in far-off Rhineland, Sansa's horses in the deserts of Taza, Bringnig wool cloaking Callahander freedom fighters, and so on. Passengers manifest support this hypothesis, with many travelers using the Enclave as a middle point on their journeys. Of interest is a first-hand account from Rom Traveler, with highlights the growing demand for members of their founds to find employment as guards or laborers. It's not a stretch to suppose that the Enclave's rich opportunities for varied experiences were irresistible to previously reclusive Rom communities. Lifting the shroud.
Have you ever felt like you couldn't trust the people around you?
A few times. But I try my hardest to rebuild that trust when it crumbles. Some people haven't shown they deserve that effort, so they don't get it. Is there something that's putting you on edge?
It's Sev, and how he was collaborating with the Eye behind our backs.
Oh? I can understand, but you didn't exactly seem blown away by the revelation.
I didn't have time to process it. I have now, and the more I think about it, the more upset I feel. Logically, I understand the situation. I can trace the weave of circumstance that forced his hand and led to his deception. I know he had no choice, and I've even forgiven him. I said the words to his face, so why am I still so angry?
That's a tough one.
It reminded me again of Udea. Will the fear and the manipulation follow me forever? Will it taint everything? The secrets, the lies, the subterfuge. The Maida may seem a balmy paradise, but in reality, it is a toxic swamp. Every fibre of my being is screaming at the prospect of having my life ruined by this again.
All right. It's clear that sitting around base camp chewing on this isn't doing you any good. You need a distraction.
Possibly. What did you have in mind?
The Axel must be overwhelmed right now. Let's find something to help her with.
I'm amenable to this. Shall I let you ask her, or...?
Oh, no. You're coming with me.
I suppose it would be good to catch up with her, and I'll meet you at Cassidy's Hold, then. See you soon.
Okay.
Do you mind if I borrow a quill, Dom?
Dom, the interference I'm experiencing during expeditions is concerning. Is there any chance our scry is degrading like the ones belonging to the Enclave?
I'm still investigating, but my initial reaction is that it doesn't feel the same.
As long as it doesn't give out on us completely in the meantime.
However, I have taken a look at the Spindle's copy of the workings of Archons, and thankfully, the writing is far more legible than Lucia's. And her notes are significantly less paranoid at that.
About that, Kenrick Stanold told me that Lucia wasn't just tinkering with the arc we followed through the Veil. She built it. The Ark of Verdance.
That is quite the revelation. What was it for?
That was all Kenrick could tell me. Or wanted to tell me. But Sev mentioned that Kenrick had been feeding Isla information about a failsafe for the Source. Could the Ark of Verdance be the fix she was working on without realizing it?
Yes. Yes! That could be it. Genius, Bryn. On my side, I dug into her notes. She was working on a way to fully restore our Ark for us. She was so close to a schematic, intricate, elaborate, masterful. And I finished it. Solar has the final design ready for you. Essentially, we'll be creating a power core for the Ark. Most notably, we'll need a special part, a bar of shaped coral. This is the final key for an Ark to be functional on its own without a Weaver channeling magic into it.
If we had built a power core earlier, could her death have been prevented?
She only made this discovery in the final days of her life, through researching all the Ark parts we had supplied her. Her research even theorizes that using one's own magic to power an Ark for brief amounts of time could result in death.
So she knew she was going to die at the Grand Gate?
She knew exactly what would happen, and did it anyway. That's courage.
We can't let it be in vain. So, then the Ark of Verdance is our failsafe. Your design will get it running. Where can I find the shaped coral?
She suspected it was kept in the Archon's hearth, stored near natural coral deposits for its regenerative properties.
Archon power core.
What did we learn about the scries, fellas?
Nothing good, unfortunately.
You know how all enchanted things use woven patterns to achieve their effects yet? Well, the scries used here for decades were warped. There's no other way to describe them.
Some sort of corruption or decay?
Not exactly. More like elements had fused or connected in different ways than were intended by the enchanter.
I take it that's not normal.
Darm's never seen it, and I asked the High Enchanter, and he had never heard of it either.
Even more worrying is that the Mirian's bloom also behaved strangely while we were trying to distill it. Normally there is a very rote set of steps, but it took Lane and I several tries to find the proper alchemic ratios to make it useful.
And then we have the Spitfires, acting more aggressive than normal, nesting in odd places. Putting it all together, we're seeing a worrying pattern of unexplained changes.
Ones that would be hard to notice if a certain band hadn't broken through the veil. We can confirm these changes aren't happening outside the Enclave.
Huh. What do we do about it then?
Darm and I have been talking about it and have some ideas. Give us a little bit of time to see if we can come up with a plan.
I'll leave you to it.
Bank chest. Too close. Changes.
Darm and I have been running down the mystery of our alchemically odd plants and degraded scries. We've got a working hypothesis, but we're going to need to lean on you again to prove it.
I don't mind helping out if it's solving
As long
mystery.
as I don't have to do any more cross-swamp runs, count me in.
Worse, I'm afraid. We think the source of the problem might be the miasma. Darm's theory is that it's slowly affecting the patterns inside the Enclave.
Our enchantments?
Everything. We've never been able to perceive or harvest them, but there's a school of thought that everything alive has a pattern in it. And if that pattern allows us to interact with and control magic, the theory goes that magic might be able to affect us in turn.
You think we're in danger?
Obviously, tangles are inherently dangerous, but that's the question we want to answer. Could they affect the creatures here in more subtle ways? Could too much magic explain the Spitfire's behavior? If so, we have to worry there might be long-term effects on all of us.
Spirits. How do we prove it?
You've been collecting resonance for all your time in here, as have our enchanters. That data gives us a baseline. What he needs, then, is a comparison resonance harvested during a miasma from any of the natural beasts. Arcs won't help, alas.
Right. I'll tackle it as soon as I can.
Okay. So we have hunt, search, look, consult, harvest, identify. Whew. That's 6 quests. That's a lot of quests. Let's start with this.
See those massive pipes running along the roof? Norian design. I recognized them earlier, and they prompted my investigation into the Norians and the Enclave.
Confirming your findings that the Norians were heavily involved in the tapestry.
This should be the place, Bryn. You're looking for tablets with a circle marked by 6 dots. They look blank, but I'll be able to read them when you bring them back.
You're full of useful secrets, sir.
That's one of them, Bryn. I hoped they would still be down here.
What should we expect?
The Norians were experimenting without informing the Enclave on the aerolifts. They wanted them to do more than just moderate the weather. They wanted to control it.
They got tired of long winters? Gloomy days?
Think bigger. If you control the rain in a desert, you control the land itself.
Okay. We have 2 of our 4. Oh my gosh, does this thing stuck in there? There's that.
Should be enough for us to piece their research together, Bryn.
Will I be learning how Norians hide their information, Sev?
Yes. And if word gets out, we're both going to be hunted.
The best knowledge is always dangerous.
No longer need the Institute, so let's go. Okay, so we did that. Don't. Ooh, we need to go here. The Archon's heart. There are interesting things we still have to do.
The
A lot of
Arcane's
them.
hearth once more. Wish Isla was here to guide me.
I could assist in her absence.
The Arcane Forge. Guys, and these. There's nothing. In the Arcane Forge. I think it's wrong. I think it's supposed to say Foundry. Because I don't see Forge here.
There's a lot of coral here. I must be getting close to where the Enclave stored shaped bars. Will the Surgeborn know our plan when I pick it up? I guess that's a risk I need to take.
Ooh, bar-shaped coral. You and I have such similar taste in treasure. Whatever you're planning to do with that is nothing compared to what we could accomplish if we put our minds together.
I can manage well enough on my own.
You could do so much more than manage.
Okay, we got the thing done here. Oh! The emergency gate in the Peeling Maze.
Intriguing to think of weaver smiths and priests working side by side down here.
The preachers you grew up with would launch an hour-long diatribe at the very thought, yeah?
An hour would just be the introduction.
Okay. This is the real fun.
This is promising. Detailed smithing logs with Xavier's name on them. Lots of sketched out designs, mostly in the margins.
Doodles always help me think too.
Okay.
Is that bottled magma?
I've got one. I can't believe it's still warm. and you can feel the magic pulsing through it.
I wonder if proximity to the coral has affected it in some way.
I think that's all I'm going to find.
Okay. Harvest a strand to collect.
Get your research hat ready, Lane. There's a lot.
I do not need a hat. This overlook is called the Prodigious Expanse. What of you?
I should probably find my asthma, then look for a creature. Actually, let's just head back. I can do this another time. I actually have an idea on how I can do it.
The Surgeborn in the Howling Jail somehow has access to the scry.
We know. I can feel it in there with me. It's not pleasant. We need to do something fast.
The good news is, as far as we can tell, it only has access when you're in the underworks. At most, it seems to cause interference when you're above ground. We don't think it can listen in.
Until we can block its presence, best to keep use of the scry to a minimum.
Surgeborn seems to grow stronger. Ask how dire this is. Nah, Weavers need physical access to the sky. Oya mentioned she could feel it.
Aurea, I could feel the Surgeborn too. I know exactly what you mean.
Doesn't feel great.
The kind of nausea that only comes from the wind being knocked out of you.
It takes a lot out of me to stay connected to you when it's present, let alone speak.
That must be why there's interference.
What you're both describing, it makes me wonder if the Eye was under a deeper influence from the Surgeborn than we realized.
How so?
We assumed he was merely manipulated into a foolhardy plan, but what if the Surgeborn had some sort of effect on his mind?
I could believe it. But if that's the case, then we need to limit Bryn's exposure to it through the scry. Fast.
And yours.
I don't think it's me the Surgeborn wants to influence. From the sounds of it, it wants you.
All right. How are we going to fix this?
The reason Aurea can sense the Surgeborn presence on the scry is likely because it's wielding magic to communicate. The same way Aurea's mantle pulls magic from the air to contact you. However, unlike Aurea, the Surgeborn can't pull magic from the air around it. Otherwise, it would be talking to you all the time.
But it can only reach me when I'm underground.
Where the tangles are most dense. We need to cut off its access to raw magic.
That's where the spindle comes in. Thanks to her, we finally have the missing piece to get our escort here running.
It was a failsafe in the case that the source needed to be repaired. The Ark of Verdance will create a safe bubble against the tangles, which would be the natural consequence of any failure of the source.
Just like it did with the Veil.
Exactly. But without the crushing weight that caused it to fail.
So, the plan. We get the Ark to the source, it stabilizes the Enclave.
Or at the very least, starts the process.
If the Herald waiting down there doesn't destroy it first, I'll need to take it down. If this plan is going to work.
That sounds dangerous.
It might be a risk worth taking.
We have to. The Enclave is overflowing with raw magic, and this source is clearly the root of the problem. Too many tangles have led to the floods. They allow the Surgeborn to communicate and infect our enchantments. Without the source under control, we will never reclaim the Enclave.
Then that's our plan. We build a power core, then we speak to the Axle.
I'll join you at Cassidon's Hold.
Okay.
And with this power core, we can fix our Arc of Verdance. I think this is what they call a full circle moment.
Lately, I feel like I've been running in circles.
Hey, I know things look bleak, but this is a win. Don't let the Talon rob you of it. You're finishing her work, after all.
You're right.
I always am. Now, I think you've got a meeting with the Axle.
Tamarkine. Smithing. Let's do this first.
It's a little bit beautiful, isn't it? It's like reaching into the past and shaking hands with its designer. We have achieved much.
I think she'd be happy to see it up and running.
I think so too. Plans set in motion decades ago. Slowly ticking towards fruition. If we are so lucky.
We have 2 quests to do here. Let's start with Tamarkine Smithing. Okay, it's a shorter read. Thank gosh. Tamarkine Smithing technique is considered a lost art among the armorers of the Maida due to its intricate nature. It was a style of forging armor that was used specific cuts in the plates before shaping to create seamless folds. The resulting armor was light, strong, visually distinct, and thus was highly desirable to a point where the supply never came close to meeting the demand. The technique often relies on the smith to use a large, heavy forge. In order to reach high enough temperatures to alloy the metal on larger pieces of armor, this level of cost is complexity is largely why the technique fell out of fashion. In spite of this, one Tamarkine smith by the name of Xavier began working with the Hollow priests in the Enclave to innovate on the potential heat sources to use the technique that could be more easily transported by iterant weavers. Ultimately, they discovered that magic-infused magma in the arcane portion of the Enclave would be used as this very heat source.
This is really very clever.
You figured it out then?
Yes, Xavier's idea was to use an alchemical process similar to what Dharm and I just did to treat the coals. Elements left over from weaving flame strands distilled and used to treat magma.
Literal magma? The blood of the earth?
Enchanted magma. Measured precisely from one of Xavier's containers, he could delicately control temperature in a forge or foundry.
I may have just kneed my chair. My knee now hurts.
Sola will be over the moon. I'll let her know.
And I'll collate the more technical details. They'll be ready when she is.
Okay. As much as I don't really want to do this, Norian secret projects. Ironically, even studying these texts was something of a Norian secret, with writing being special treatment on metal plates that could cause them to corrode into legible writing when the properly treated contained within are numerous initiatives peppered with code phrases, obscure references to what seem to be dates or places, and other seemingly incoherent and unrelated bits of knowledge. When the presented with them, our ex-Norian was swiftly able to translate them. noting that the information is less of a cipher, but more of a series of references to previous Norian projects, both magical and mundane. What stood out most to Sev was how each of the Norians' studies and initiatives were focused and delicately subverting or changing the purpose of the Enclave's achievements. One can only assume the secrecy with these studies were recorded makes it clear that Enclave's wider populace was never supposed to know about the Norians' Constein events.
I shouldn't be surprised the Norians use a fluid to conceal their secrets. It's ingenious, really. An acid of sorts that can etch the writing into the metal invisibly. And when you apply another compound, it oxidizes. It's like a legible rust. And yet, after you're done, you can just wipe it clean and it flakes off.
Medium aside, what did we learn?
As Sev expected, research on the aeroliths. It's a bit outside my speciality, so I passed it to Dharm.
And how are we feeling about Sev's revelations?
It's not like I've never kept things from my friends, and I generally keep them from my family, so I empathize. But I don't keep them from the band. Anyway, Dharm's waiting.
Okay. We have consult Sola and consult Dom. Let's consult Sola first. Sorry about that.
Magma. Can you believe it?
Is it not lava?
I thought it was only lava if it bubbled up from underground. But now I'll have to ask Lane.
You heard the news then?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryn. We ruined the surprise.
It's fine. Just nice to see you so happy.
We're confident that between the two of us, we can make Xavier's plan work.
And I'm keen to try it out. I was up sketching all night, and I have an idea for some armor to act as a test. If it works, we'll gather more. The veil has to open someday, and with this magma, we could be on the road for months.
Or maybe we'll stay. Either option provides you many potential students.
Or maybe, just maybe,
We could do both.
we'll make it work. After we get this bloody enclave sorted out. Right, Bryn?
I have every faith we will.
There's the achievement, Mending Mindset. Repaired a bond of love. Still gotta consult Dom.
Lane said I should talk to you about the plates we found for Sev.
Perhaps you could walk with me?
Sure.
I have already passed my notes on. This conversation isn't about them. I wanted to ask how you're doing with regards to Sev.
Silver Suffering One.
At the end of the day, he broke his oath for us. I respect that. As soon as he felt there was a risk to the band, he correctly warned us.
It's true. His judgment has been better than his timing. Still, what we're seeing now is the chrysalis of a capable and intriguingly well-informed young man.
He's going to go so much further with us than with the Norians.
Ultimately, I will say this. There was a time in my life I walked away from everything I held most important. Sev is handling it better than I did. He's not angry or bitter, he's just working through the problem. It's kind of you to help him. I'm sure he appreciates it more than he'll ever be able to say. So I'm saying it for him. Sev already has my notes. Good luck in your endeavors.
Okay.
Exciting news, Bryn.
You figured out how to clear the source?
Nothing quite that far along, but we are a step closer. As I suspected, the Norians were doing experiments not even Enclave leadership knew about. Not to just stabilize the weather, but directly control its extremes.
Which is pretty much what we're seeing the aeroliths do, here and now.
I honestly think that these experiments, left unattended, are the direct cause of the wild temperature changes. Likely contributed to the floods as well, though I suspect Asylum was the larger cause there. Regardless, if I can pick up where their research left off, we might have a solution to our problem at the source.
I don't need to really look at these questions. None of them, I don't really care for any of those three.
What will it take to move from might have a solution to definitely have a solution for the source?
The research you recovered focused on using patterns from creatures with natural flame and frost affinity. It used those patterns to briefly augment one part of the enchantments woven into an aerolith.
Use flame magic to tilt the aerolith hotter for a time?
Yes, exactly. And they had some success with it, proving the methods viable.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but too bad there aren't miasma creatures.
There's one, and Dharm already managed to recover some of its pattern.
But not enough?
Oh, absolutely enough. You've been working hard and it's paid off. I needed an exquisite resonance from all three types of magic. And we have that.
That's fantastic. Is that it then?
We're going to combine them with the Norian's notes and Dharm's studies of the Herald to build a device to influence the aeroliths. I gave the design to Sola. She said it should be doable, but wants your approval on which materials to use.
If this could pull miasma out of the source somehow, sign me up.
It's the most promising lead I have. And it's very promising indeed.
Norian weather control device. Forged resource. Let's just do that. There we are. We gained the achievement. It's a dry
That was
heat.
one of the most complicated things we've ever collectively assembled.
Repair the bond of trust.
I hope it wasn't too much.
Not at all. The only tough part was Dharm hovering the entire time. He's enthralled with this device.
Oh, well,
I'm teasing you, Seth. I'm not sure if you'll still be my apprentice after all this, but I will tease you.
No more learning to smith.
Now, I'm not saying that. We just need to figure out what comes next together. Which brings me to the question of the hour. You were already a Norian. Why did you want to be my apprentice anyway?
Rambralem.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. You could have just told me.
That's a cultural thing for you, isn't it?
Oh, you know. Yes. Very much so. But yes, Sola. I'm sorry. I was afraid if you dug too hard into my past, you might learn about the Norians.
And they don't like people digging.
No, they truly don't. That is your answer, though.
And this is your intricate doodad. I cannot wait to see what it does.
Okie dokie. Consult the axle, consult the axle. Do some harvesting and do that. Well, we have to go consult the axle twice now, so let's get moving. Double consult. Let's do in memories first.
Khan Arteme, my Weaver Band has repaired the Ark we followed through the Veil and discovered its true purpose.
To nullify the tangles at the source so it can be repaired.
Its anti-magic properties are why we were able to follow it through the Veil in the first place.
I see.
If we could get it to the source, we believe it could stabilize the Enclave.
Except the Grand Gate was broken when the Ark pushed the Herald back through it.
Surely there must be another way to reach the source.
Now that it's repaired, couldn't this Ark be used to leave the Enclave the way you came?
In theory, sure.
What are you saying, Khan Arteme?
It's time for someone to protect my people. I need to use that Ark to get us all out of here.
You would leave with the Surgeborn running loose? Or worse, allow them to spread and wreak havoc across the Maida in your wake?
No one has succeeded in stopping them yet. We've been trapped inside the Enclave for decades. It's time to set ourselves free before the Surgeborn overtake Cassidon's hold and kill us all.
It isn't right.
Is shoving problems under the rug truly the Enclave's legacy? Because it's a pattern at this point.
Agreed. Your people are better than this.
The Surgeborn has infiltrated our scry. It's learning how to use our enchantments against us. If we don't put a stop to this madness, how long until they overtake the Arks? Or bring down the Veil and spread across the Maida?
That is concerning. Still, let's be clear. Even if you could reach the source, there's a massive Surgeborn that almost killed you lurking down there.
I'll be ready for the Herald this time.
And what are you going to do about all the tangles? Punch them before they disintegrate you?
Sev believes the Aeroliths can manipulate raw magic and are responsible for miasma. We think if we can control the Aeroliths, we can make the source safer.
Interesting. You've put more thought into this than I'd expected. But, as you've said, you have no way to reach the source.
Fine. Our plan has a few kinks to iron out.
More than a few.
How about this? If you can just give us time to present you with the final plan, it'll be your call whether or not we move forward on it.
I suppose that's fair. I can't pack up this stronghold in a day.
One more thing. It's clear by now the Enclave hides its secrets well. If there's any information on the source, I need access to it.
There are private records that can only be accessed with the Eye's signet. I suppose he's not using it at the moment, but...
Bryn did just save your people from certain death not too long ago.
Fine. You can borrow it. You should find information at the Spire in Upper Denevron, the Bastion, and the Institute.
We'll arrange a meeting with you when we're ready.
Good luck.
Okay. Lifting the shroud.
Bryn and Lane, to what do I owe the pleasure?
We're hoping that there's something you can help us with. Or rather, we're hoping that there's something we can help you with.
I'm not sure I follow.
I've been at a loose end, gnawing on painful thoughts, only growing more despondent in the process.
Huh.
So we're here to focus on problems that are a little more tangible. What can we help you with?
That is very kind of you. I've had a great deal of difficulty keeping on top of things.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We're here to help, like I said.
Right. I've got a petition from the scouts here somewhere. Let me find it. Arakim has been nagging me about accessing the Archon's hearth. Its stores of raw material could busy our forge masters for months. Now that I'm technically in charge, I'm loath to follow Kenrick's lead in recklessly sending the scouts into dangerous situations. What I'm lacking to make that call is intelligence on the Archon's hearth. Our documentation is decades out of date.
I'm not really the adventuring type.
Leave that to me. Just this once.
Yes. That makes more sense.
So, you can compile the report based on what you see on the scry, while I'm exploring the Archon's hearth.
Sorry I paused the game there. I was looking at a document.
Perhaps we can acquaint ourselves better too, Lane. I should very much like to hear what you've learnt about the Enclave during your visit.
It would be my pleasure to share my findings.
Then it's settled. Come find me when you have a moment, and we can pool our knowledge. Bryn, if you wouldn't mind completing this task expediently.
I'll see what I can do.
I basically found a place to where I can grab, that has a guide for every... The game's been out long enough to where there's a guide for every single collectible, which means... I am no longer... Whew. Just realized we just have these two left, and we'll be done with that. I guess lower to Nephron is where we should head. Just checking everywhere. The Institute has the Forge, the Forge, which... Let's go beat it. Let's go here and let's fight the Ark of the Forge.
My. That's the highly signet. Did you know it can reveal the Enclave's secrets? Not that I needed it to pry into the eye's darker truths. Let me guess. You're trying to find another way to reach the source. I'm all for it. We'll be able to speak more easily.
I'm sick of your voice already.
Such impoliteness is unbecoming of you. Didn't your parents raise you to be a nice, respectful girl?
Wasn't for the fact I have to pull out its strand, I would just kill it.
I spoke of his own daughter. Those are the core values your kind instills in them.
The Ark of the Forge. Temper tantrum. Yippee. One. I think 2 of them done is fine. Bread! Dang it! Because of the stupid boxes, I couldn't react. At least we'll be getting the Ark of the Forge done. Just check, yeah. Forge. Temper tantrum. Hit the stupid target! There. Goodbye. What? This technically should kind of clean. There.
Flame dragon. Unpredictable and powerful.
There's the last of that one. Do you have anything we need to do down here? In the Institute's circuit? In the Institute? Here we are. Eastern Circuit Amusing. There's the item.
Field notes from an expedition.
Don't need it anymore. Archon's Hearth.
To the source shortly after the surge. Enchanters to suffer severe damage to the coral. All who participated in the expedition were sworn to secrecy by the Eye in power at the time.
Okay. We have done the Ark of the Forge. That leaves just the Ark of Wintertide, which is a pain to fight. I hate the Ark of Wintertide. Let's head to Lower de Neveron. We need to head to Broker's Park.
This airlift should be perfect, Bryn.
Right.
You can have that back.
Done.
That's all we needed. The others have been helping me with a little project on the side. A surprise for you.
No hints.
You'll see.
This was where the farmer Lane mentioned was selling his crops. I should look around.
Changes? No, this one.
pair of silver glasses with an intricate cloth connecting them. Enchanted.
Bryn, please, bring those back to camp.
Of course.
Perfect! Which you got the achievement for. Kai projectile thrown by a hate creature Archon. That's the only reason I was fighting that, even though we have no healing. Well, it looks like I'm not going any more progress here. We're taking out Purified Sarite. Take these. Oh, look. Just grab that. Oh, I come living flame. Quest. Search for hidden fragments of the source and up at the Nevron and the garrison bunker.
Last time we went looking for answers in the Bastion. Half the documents were torn to shreds. What else were they hiding behind the Eye's signet?
Looks
like research that's been compiled on the ecological and geographic impacts across the Enclave's landscape. There's an entire section on the widening of the Great Chasm.
Goodbye. The spire. Whew. I think by part 15 we should have this game done.
Council records are meant to be public. Wonder what else the Eye was hiding from his people.
That's not... Oh, there we go. Search for hidden fragments of the source and up at Nevron. Oh, we need to go down.
Records on the construction and maintenance of grand gates across the Enclave.
Okay, let's head to the south. Let's head back to the South Wallway Station. We have a lot of consulting to do. My favorite.
And then the priest says, that's not how you extinguish the holy flame.
I thought you never extinguished the holy flame.
They make certain exceptions when it threatens centuries-old tapestries.
You never talked about your time in the church.
They're not happy memories.
No, but they're yours.
Then let's not fight again so I have more time to share them.
That's unreasonable. Let's just make sure we're talking.
Of course, my love. After all, I love you like I love you.
I love you too.
Mr. Vader. Oh, sorry, Warrior.
Have you taken a closer look at the glasses I found in the farmer's stand?
I can hardly believe it. My mother's craftwork is unmistakable. Enchanted to adjust with degrading vision.
So we found your father. Lane's notes mentioned his name was Eugenius Osphine.
I guess so.
I thought you'd be happy.
No, I am.
Aurea, what's really going on? Be honest.
I thought I came from a long line of weavers. Now... Never mind.
Aurea.
I need to be alone right now.
Chicken? Oh, okay. Let's head to Dom. Flame powers. That's all of our fire completed. We are now completely not only done. Frost, we just need to complete this one twice. And kinetic, we need to also do this one twice. We've completed Arc of the Forge. Oh, Warrior has another quest for me. Blaze of Glory.
Hey, mind if we talk somewhere private?
Lead the way.
I won't be returning to expeditions. I've known for a while now, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. My days as Point are over.
I thought you were recovering from your injury.
Not as well as I should be. That I got injured at all was a sign that I'm not as fast as I used to be. I should count myself lucky. Not many Points get a career this long, but I'm not ready for this to end. Especially here, of all places. What kind of legacy is it to reach the Enclave only to sit by the fire?
But you've had an incredible career. And it isn't ending just because you can't go on expeditions.
I know, but it's not the same. And some part of me was hoping to end on a big score. I thought if I found out who my father was, if he turned out to be some great weaver like my mother, it's silly.
Tell me.
I thought I could solidify my legacy in history. Make sense of what my own contributions have been, if anything at all.
You're an incredible weaver in your own right. You don't need impressive parents to prove that. And if you had to pick your last act as Point, isn't finding your way into the Enclave the biggest score of all? You're everything I want to be.
That's very kind. Maybe in time I'll make peace with what my career has been. But for now, it's too raw.
Oh, my ear. Sorry, guys. My my headset hurts my ear when worn out for long periods of time. This hasn't happened in the last couple weeks because I haven't been playing for more than 2 hours at a time. 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. Today I've played for like 6. So my headset's starting to hurt a little more. With no breaks, of course. That's...
Is there anything I can do?
Unless you can give me a few years back. This is grief I'll need to sit with for a while.
I understand. I wish there was something I could do to help Aurea see herself the way I see her. Lane knows a thing or two about recording legacies.
Look how bare our quest log is. Because we completed almost all of our epic hunts. We have only 3 companion quests left, and we have our 2 main ones. Well, let's consult with Sev.
What's all this, big guy?
The culmination of all our efforts, Bryn.
He wanted it to be a surprise.
Consider me impressed. But what exactly does it do?
He hasn't told you?
As Casman said, I wanted it to be a surprise.
Sev, we all do better work with context. This is something you're going to need to get used to.
Yeah. You're a weaver now. I heard you say so yourself.
It's the culmination of a Norian dream. But unlike them, I'm not going to use it to put a nation in a stranglehold. No. I'm going to change the weather. For you.
For me?
Yes. It will take some resources, so let's be judicious, but yes. We can change the weather before your expeditions.
Wonder how I contributed this.
So all those patterns I collected.
Critical to calibrating things. Weather and miasma alike. The creatures have been exposed to so many wild environmental swings. They were affected in ways I could use to calibrate to the aerolift's patterns.
And that's what Dom was helping with?
Everyone has helped Bryn. Literally everyone. No politics, no backstabbing. I could get used to this.
Good. All that stuff wastes time and energy.
How often can I make this in gym?
You said this will take resources. Am I hunting more patterns, or...?
Nothing so dire.
Bryn, you've got enough to worry about. Let us sort it. We'll treat it just like upgrading the camp. Maybe I end up trading with the Hearthsiders. Maybe we do a little alchemy. We'll handle it.
Well, this is incredible. What's involved with actually making it happen?
Well, it's not simple for me. But for you, I'll keep it simple. If we want to make a change before you leave, we can do it as part of the preparation. The aerolifts are all connected, and the device we created will let me give them let's call it a shove, for a day or so.
We've run some limited tests, and everything holds up. It's really rather ingenious.
And we'll give you quite the edge. Imagine tossing a drought when a frost creature is hunting.
It can affect my asthma, too, yes?
Yes, it can. Which is promising. If we can clear you a path somehow to the source, we know the Ark of Verdance should be able to give you a clear workspace.
For machinery repair and herald elimination alike.
Exactly. Now you need to find a way to reach the source. And I need to find a way to clear that path. Still, promising.
That. Aeroliths. Sev's new design allows him to alter the weather and the location for the remainder of the day. The modification can be done at a room gate. Doing so requires numerous alchemic concoctions and delicate devices, so each alteration costs supplies. Casman can upgrade his station and make it more efficient. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Upgrade station. Let's salvage resources. What don't we need? In the highest class of purple. I can get 20 per salvage here. I can easily kill an Ark of Living Flame. Ark of the Forge is a little harder to get. Let me see how much that gets us. Sebastian's workstation. Level 2. Upgrade. So we'll use for operate here. We got the achievement Home Sweet Home. Upgraded all stations to base camp to their maximum level. And there we have it. All of you are done. Wow. Red supplies. Well, we have a lot of things to consult Lane about. I would like to say that we have a lot of... We finished our race compiling! Regents. Magic. Weavers. 3 undiscovered ones, but we're almost done with all the ones we found. Got it, fuzz. Still need one more. In memories. Codex compiling. Let's do Blaze of Glory first.
Lane, I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What is it?
Well, it turns out Oria's search for her father wasn't just about finding her family.
Crusades into one's lineage rarely are. Let me guess. She didn't find the missing piece of herself that she hoped she would, and now she's having an existential crisis.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
It happens. So, what has all this really been about?
She knows she needs to retire, and she's struggling with what her legacy has been.
Ah, isn't it strange how the most accomplished people never seem to recognize their own success?
Yeah, I was hoping you could help with that. After all, isn't chronicling a legacy your specialty?
Hello. I also really enjoyed this game. You know what? You know what? I will copy and paste that, and I will add you once my stream is over. I have a half-decent feeling about this. Well, I'm going to continue this now. But thank you for stopping by at the very least.
We could certainly commemorate her career with a written account. A lovely idea. I would suggest we personalize it with anecdotes from each of our traveling companions, as they've been in Oria's band longer than you or I. Would you interview them for me? Legacies may be my specialty, but you might have the leg up when it comes to connecting with others.
Sure, I can do that. Any tips on what to ask them?
Ask whatever you like. Maybe you want a few humorous stories in the mix? Or some readers prefer heartfelt. Why don't I start by interviewing you?
Me?
Of course. We'll need your input. What has Oria meant to you?
The faith she puts in me is everything.
Oria was legendary to me before we met. To have someone like her give me unparalleled opportunity and responsibility, it means the world to me. She's a true guiding light in my career.
Great. I'll transcribe that and start her biography. Take notes when you speak to the others and come back to me.
Okay. Let's do the codex compiling of the source. Bear with me. All the codex reading is very, well, can be interesting, but it's very boring. I will try and speed through this without messing up, stumbling over my own words. Oh god, this one's long. Attached is a heavily redacted report on the location or object known as the source. It seems to be some kind of briefing of Enclave politicians with newly gained security clearance. The source is a natural font of magic located deep underground, discovered during the early stages of the Enclave settlement. It was quickly found the objects exposed to it would rapidly, redacted, the coral-like mineral surrounding it seems to be immune to this effect. After several weeks of meeting with the high clearance individuals, it was decided that this natural formation must be exploited. Our highest performing engineers were recruited from across the Enclave, sworn to secrecy, and put them to work attempting to understand the location's mechanics. This work was put on hold once an experiment revealed that the core acted as an extremely efficient and low-resistant magical conduit. This was immediately recognized as a discovery that would allow construction of the incredibly complex magical artifacts. Thus was the projectile split. Projectile? Where did I get that word from? Thus was the project split into two sub-projects. One, to gauge the feasibility of harnessing the source as a way to access unlimited magical energy, and the other, to harvest and utilize the coral to enhance Enclave's magical engineering capabilities. Several pages are redacted. The coral was essential in design and production of our now ubiquitous arcs. We found that as living mineral, it can be grown and farmed, thus keeping the future in mind. Pilot production facilities were built, though the majority of our coral resources still come from harvesting the original deposit around the source. Another page is redacted. Further experiments are undergoing on the source itself. As we expand our infrastructure, it seems to react to energy input. It is not alive per se, but is more akin to a raging hearth. We are close to finding a way to harnessing its energy. Additional funding is always welcome.
Hope you're not afraid of diving into bottomless pits.
Hardly. Maybe a little. Why?
Despite the Grand Gates no longer functioning, there is a more direct way to reach the source.
Great. We're gonna have to jump off a cliff. My favorite.
By dropping straight down into a rift in Lower Denevron.
You know, last time I wanted to charge into a restricted area, you weren't so sure it was a great idea.
People change. Maybe I've learned a thing or two about calculated risk-taking from you. And the prospect of securing the source makes this a risk worth taking.
With this knowledge and Sev's plan to control the miasma with the aeroliths, I'll get Aurea to call a meeting with the Axel.
Perfect.
Okay. We don't need to do that right now. This is the main quest. We're not going to progress it. I still want to. Still can't do that. Interview the other weavers. Let's begin with that. Blaze of Glory.
You know, a lot of points struggle with transitioning into a Watcher's role full-time. And there's never been a point more passionate than Aurea.
I know. I hope this eases her pain.
I'm sure it will. Now, what can I do to help?
Aurea has it like I made don't see. Ask if there's no secret. Aurea's great. Ask
What do you
questions.
think makes Aurea such a strong leader?
She listens to her weaver's input when needed, yet remains decisive when a consensus can't be reached. The band I traveled with before fell apart due to disagreements over what our goals should have been. It was a difficult and tumultuous time in my career. I never wanted to live through that again.
I can relate. Traveling with Aurea is a completely different experience to my last band, too.
Sorry, I was doing some extra side things.
She has a clear vision for her band, and she chooses people that share her goals. Even when conflict arises, it doesn't last long, and Aurea can diffuse it quickly. That's because we can all trust that one another's intentions are good. Leading a weaver band is half the battle. Now, picking the weavers? That's the tough part.
Thanks for sharing, Dom.
Okay. Craft. Let's see what we have here. Armor kind. Ooh, that looks really nice. Oh, Blaze of Glory.
Bryn, I love what you're doing for Oria. How can I help?
Been the longest. Ask how.
You've been in the Weaver Band the longest. How do you think Oria has changed throughout her career?
To be a point for as long as Oria has is extremely rare. The knowledge she's acquired at a time when Weavers have lost so much is invaluable. She's always been passionate about recovering what was lost since the Surge. Though, I think feeling alone in that ambition has taken a toll on her over the years.
In what way?
Not all Weavers are in this for our collective culture the way Arya is. Many of them only seek personal glory. When Casman didn't work out as her replacement point, she became worried she might never find someone that shared her vision for this band. It meant a lot when she finally found you.
Wow. Thank you, Sola.
This brings a tear to my eye.
Happy to help.
That's 2. Should I ask Lane? No, I don't need to ask them. Casman, Blaze of Glory.
Your idea to commemorate Oria's career with Lane is lovely. How can I help?
Be right. Apologies. My dinner got finished. I lost track of time, didn't realize it was... We've been going for 2.5 hours. Oh yeah, it's impacted us. I'll ask how she's been.
If you were to summarize Oria's influence on your life, what would that be?
Oria saved me from serious burnout with the Udain relief efforts. Not to mention, saving me from myself a second time here in the Enclave. I don't know if I'd still be here without her. Or any of you, for that matter. Anyway, the longer I worked the relief ships, the worse the fatigue hit me. And I think that had become my entire identity. Barely a few minutes into meeting me, Oria asked if I ever thought of becoming a weaver. I thought she was mad. But I guess she had observed me giving orders and organizing shipments on the docks all morning. By the end of our conversation, I had a new purpose and a home in our band.
That's perfect. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
I'm going to call it here. I understand we just have to talk to Sev, talk to a few people, and will be another thing. But I want to leave that for next time. I would like to inform you that... How many achievements did we get done this time? We got 5 achievements in this stream. Which was, honestly, nice. They're getting worth a little more.
You over here, Seb?
I would like to go eat my dinner, which is why I'm going to end this here.
You both have.
I don't want to get cold.
Careful
It
of
is
the blocker of the sunny
tacos, so
patch.
makes more sense. If it was something that was still a little okay while cold, I'd continue, but these terrible while cold. And I might grab me some extra I haven't eaten today. There probably won't be another stream tonight. If there is, there is. There isn't, there isn't. You know, just kind of my mood. We're finishing this game rapidly. We're grabbing achievements faster and faster and we're building up pace. I would love to say by part 15, this game will be done. Like I did with Power World and that, and just push myself to get it. But with the achievement gap we have right now, we're missing 15. Not a lot, okay? That's not a huge amount. But that could take us a while. I will guarantee by part 20 we will be done, but not by part 15. I would love to be done by part 15, but part 20 is where I'm going to say I will pull like a 13-hour stream if need be on that last one. The final stream will be grabbing codex items. Grabbing last achievements. It will be fun. I'm going to be sad to say goodbye to this game because I'm loving it. And well, we have a lot of things going for us. So, I hope you have enjoyed. This was Asato. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, night, evening, morning. I don't know, Tuesday. I know this isn't a Tuesday, but actually, is it a Tuesday? It is a Tuesday! Ah! Well, have a wonderful whatever. Bye-bye.